And these changes, these dietary changes are so safe and so healthy. It doesn't make sense to me to wait. I think the risk is extremely low and the potential benefits are just huge. But I'm also having consultation sessions with other clinicians around the world who are interested in learning about how to implement nutrition strategies in their clinical practice. Forward-thinking general practitioners and psychiatrists and nurse practitioners. And they tell me the same thing, that if they're working with people who are willing to change their diet, that they see improvements, and sometimes really dramatic improvements. So we know that this works in the real world for many people who are willing to try it. Animals defend themselves with claws and fangs and growling and chasing. They don't need to have any other mode of protecting themselves. And so if you're going to eat an animal for lunch, you have to deal with all of those defense mechanisms, and there's some risk involved. But if you're approaching a plant, it looks so innocent sitting there in a field. It looks defenseless. It looks vulnerable. It looks innocent. But it's defending itself just as powerfully as any animal is. It's just doing it silently with invisible chemical weapons. And these have evolved over hundreds of millions of years because, plants can't move. They would never have made it this far in evolution if they didn't protect themselves. So all creatures defend themselves. All creatures want to, take over the world. And they especially want to protect their offspring. So plants have chemical weapons, many, many sophisticated ones, and some of the most powerful ones are found in the seeds of plants, because seeds all contain embryos. Grains, beans, nuts, and seeds are all seeds. And the seeds of plants are the most heavily defended because that's the future generation of the plant. So it makes sense that things, the sort of a paleo style diet, if you will, that removes grains and legumes may be a safer diet for human beings, because there's lectins and phytic acid. Lectins are they poke holes in animal cells and they aggravate the immune system. And seeds, all the seed foods are loaded with lectins. And seeds are also very high in phytic acid, which is a mineral magnet that interferes with our ability to absorb minerals from foods, things like zinc and iron and calcium and magnesium, which are crucial for brain function. Very hard for us to absorb minerals from these foods. And so there are toxins in the cruciferous vegetables that can cause damage to cells. There are things called goitrogens in many types of foods, which interfere with iodine processing and thyroid hormone function. Toxins within nightshades. Nightshades are the tomatoes, eggplant family. So those foods, all the nightshades, contain neurotoxins that some people are quite sensitive to. There isn't a plant in the world that doesn't defend itself with a chemical weapon. And these chemical weapons are really interesting. And of course, they're primarily designed to protect themselves from small creatures, like worms and insects and bacteria and fungi. But our cells are made of the same stuff. All animal cells are basically the same construction. So if you eat enough of these foods, or if you are vulnerable because you have gut damage or immune system damage, the plant foods that we've been eating for a long period of time, we have evolved defense mechanisms to deal with. We either don't absorb these toxins or we rapidly detoxify and eliminate them from the body. But if you have gut system or immune system damage, you may not do that as well as you should. And I think that helps to explain why people may tolerate plant foods for a long period of time, and then at some point in their life, they develop sensitivities and they no longer can handle a lot of plant foods.
Annotated and summarized, easy to share with loved ones. The description below the title for this video has these summary points.